Yes, Ariel Helwani and his little cult were rubbing their hands together at the idea of you getting humbled with bad intentions. And yes, 100% your upcoming fight against Jean Silva has been put together with bad intentions. So Bryce Mitchell withdraws from the Karate Combat grudge match that everyone was just longing for, and they were frothing at the mouth to see the Israeli fighter really punish Bryce Mitchell for his recent statements. But Bryce has backed out of the fight, and he says that he is not gay and he's not interested in that sort of shit because of a feminine photo that Karate Combat put out for the promotion. Of course, there's more to the story than that. He has booked a fight with Jean Silva. We'll get to that in a minute. But I thought it was absolutely hysterical to see Bryce's response. We're going to have a look at that. We're going to have a look at the president of Karate Combat. The dude is whatever, I think he was trying to do some sort of sarcastic response. We'll have a look at that as well. Didn't really work out for him, and didn't really work out for the media and the general nut jobs like Luke Thomas and Ariel Helwani, who were just longing to see Bryce get humbled by an Israeli guy. So it was very funny to see it all come crashing down. We'll have a look at all of that. Before we do, if you can do me a favor, which you have done in the last 2 weeks, and I really do appreciate it, you've subscribed. It was awesome. I really do appreciate that. And maybe just share out the video if any of it made sense. Cheers.
I want to let y'all know I'm pulling out of my grappling match on Friday. This is my first time announcing it. Karate Combat don't even know yet. So I'm literally announcing it myself before I tell anybody. I don't want my words to get twisted, and I don't quite trust them with my words. So
a very interesting one that he didn't trust them with his words and that he put it out there. I think that he did the right thing. He's obviously excited for the upcoming fight and doesn't want to risk getting injured in a grappling match with some 23-year-old lad who has the bit between his teeth and wants to show the world how powerful and how virtuous Israel is. I think he did 100% the right thing by backing out of it.
Yeah, I'm pulling out of the match, and reason being is the great news is I've got a big matchup coming up, big fight coming up. I don't know the exact details on the fight, but I'm just telling y'all something's coming up, and please be patient with me, okay? I'm being patient too. I want to fight too, and I can't wait for this next fight, and I'm prioritizing the fight over a grappling match. It's not worth it for me knowing I got a fight coming up now to do a grappling match on Friday. And here's the thing, Karate Combat, I love y'all, but still, y'all did me dirty, okay? You posted that CGI photo of me, and you did up my ears, and you did up my eyebrows, and whatever you did to my face that don't look like me, okay? I'm just telling you, you took a photo of me, and then you modified it, and then you posted it on the roster, okay? And the photo looks feminine, okay? I'm not gay. And y'all don't need to be queering me out, okay? Because I don't like that shit. So since y'all tried to queer me out, now I'm calling you out on it. And
there's the picture in question. A little bit of a CGI look to it, or an AI look to it, and a little bit of a gay look to it, according to Bryce. And you don't need to be queering me out, because I ain't having it. So I'm bouncing out of this bullshit grappling match. Besides the hordes of butthurt losers over on social media that want Bryce Mitchell to get KO'd like he did against Josh Emmett, and I've seen that clip been shared around ad nauseum. People think that it's so funny to show it. Fine, whatever, he got knocked out. But this Israeli lad, Eli, I saw that he was posting these type of videos over on his Instagram, and it actually does play into the end of what Bryce Mitchell says, because he sends a very positive message over to this lad. I'm 1,000,000% sure that it's not reciprocal. Just going off the comments from this guy, going off the videos he was posting, going off of his responses to the president of Karate Combat. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But check out the glee in the eyes of these three absolute cocks.
This via our friends from Karate Combat. They have these like grappling matches in these sort of like pit-like structures. And so they've just confirmed with me that at KC 53 Denver, pit submission featured bout at 180 pounds. It's going to be a young man named Eli Barzilai. In his mid-20s, he's a big-time prospect, and worth noting that he's probably the biggest prospect coming out of Israel right now. He's very proud. A lot of people think he's very close to getting to the UFC. Not to belabor the point, they have signed Eli Barzilai in a 180-pound catchweight bout in a pit submission featured match against thug nasty Bryce Mitchell. This is going to be a very emotionally charged. Like, Eli is quite outspoken.
Honestly, a real concern I have is Bryce Mitchell. He's obviously a competent grappler. Is him winning and then Barzilai getting very emotional about it and like a real fight breaking out.
Or vice versa, right?
I guess vice versa as well.
Oh boy, yeah.
It does feel like it's going to be very emotionally charged.
It feels like it's going to be very emotionally charged because Bryce is a good grappler. That's the only bone of contention that these lads have, is that because Bryce is able to grapple, what happens if he wins? Oh my God, if he wins and Eli Barlakai or whatever the his name is very volatile and very outspoken, and he's going to go absolutely nuts and attack Bryce if Bryce gets the win during this grappling match, or vice versa. This lad with the beard and the feminine face comes in and says, it's like, dude, like, can you imagine Bryce Mitchell like losing the plot and attacking someone? It's not in his personality. That's not what he's about. And we see in his response to the Karate Combat and the withdrawal from that match exactly how he feels about Karate Combat. They did a dog on him by making him look like a bit of a woman. He says, no problem, I still love you guys. Then he goes on to give a nice message to the outspoken Eli, and none of it's reciprocal. This whole video, the whole response on social media, mainstream outlet lads like Luke Thomas, they're all like rubbing their hands together at the idea of Bryce getting put down and humbled by an Israeli who's on his way to the UFC. Cool. Nice one.
And you need to be respectful to your fighters and post real photos of them on the roster. Don't be CGIing us and making us look feminine. Nobody's going to like that. And I think somebody did that with bad intentions. I'm not stupid. Or I'm not as stupid as y'all think, at least.
Again, it's so simple. Yeah, they did it with bad intentions. Yeah, the fight was set up with bad intentions. Yes, Ariel Helwani and his little cult were rubbing their hands together at the idea of you getting humbled with bad intentions. And yes, 100%, your upcoming fight against Jean Silva has been put together with bad intentions. The matchmaking in UFC recently is absolutely shocking, uninspiring and boring. And this is very, very overt. We know what's going on here. You can see it right across the board on social media. Once this fight was announced, we just got the Josh Emmett knockout over and over again. This guy Silva is coming off of a 4 or 5 fight run of first round knockouts. The guy's a douche, all right? The guy's a douchebag. There's a bunch of hype on him. He's dropping guys with one slap and he's walking away and he's smiling and he's acting pure goofy and he's talking about diarrhea.
That's gross.
He's missing weight all over the place. He's fake glove touching, then sparking guys out. Listen, this is how you build a career in the UFC. You make some sort of a name outside of what you do. And what he does seems to be legitimate. The guy has got some serious power. I would obviously love to see Bryce go in there and really show his skills, grapple this guy, put him down and quieten him down. And not just quieten him down, right? Because as I said, the dude's a douchebag. His fight on the weekend was fine. He got that knockout and he was all smiling and joking and dancing, as I said, talking about shitting himself. Then he was going to humble Bryce Mitchell. Jean Silva vows to educate hillbilly Bryce Mitchell. I'll wash his mouth out with a beating. Cool. So there you go. A very premeditated bit of matchmaking there by the UFC, playing into the whole let's humble Bryce. But let's hear what he has to say about Eli.
But I forgive you. All you got to do is apologize now. You know, do the right thing, Karate Combat. Say you're sorry. Take the photo of me down, and we move on, you know. But you do owe me an apology on that one. And that's why I'm coming straight out and announcing I'm out of the match, because I don't even trust them to relay this message. I wanted to tell y'all the message, and
let's have a little listen to the apology.
I want to deeply apologize to Bryce Mitchell. Eyebrow, you know, it just doesn't look good. It looks feminine, and pulling out of a match, you know, I understand. I would pull out of a match if my eyebrow looked different too. So I've been president for 13 months now, and this is probably the worst mistake I've made as a president. Congrats. He doesn't know the details of his fight, but he has a big fight, which is cool. So I'm looking forward to his big fight. I think what makes me really sad is, you know, the opponent, this fight meant a lot to him, really had some serious sentimental value to him. So he messaged me today that he's just absolutely heartbroken to hear this on social media for the first time. So I apologize to the opponent too. I hope to find a way to make it up to you. and it is our fault for again editing the ear and the eyebrow.
This is a legitimate combat sport that's trying to grow karate combat over here. This dude is the president for just 13 months. This is how he treats a huge star coming over from the UFC. Very tongue-in-cheek. I want to apologize about the eyebrow. I want to apologize about the ear. You don't know the details of your fight, but you're out. It's like, okay. But more importantly, poor Eli is very upset because this fight meant a lot to him. And there was a lot of sentimentality involved in it. And you're like, the way you're even talking about him makes him sound like an idiot. The way Ariel spoke about him being very outspoken and wanting this fight, and you know, this is going to be fireworks and God knows what can happen. There could be a huge brawl at the end of it. It seems like the only one who gives a shit about poor Eli over here is Bryce Mitchell.
Thank all of y'all for tuning in, and to my opponent that I was going to grapple, Eli, I want to let you know, brother, you're a phenomenal athlete. I think the world of you. You're 23 years old, 6-0. You know, I've been fighting since I was 17. I'm 30 years old now, brother. So I've only pulled out of a couple fights, but this kind of stuff happens. And for whatever reason, you know, this happened, and you're gonna end up coming out on top from this. Okay, they're gonna find you opponent. You're going to keep doing good, and God bless you, buddy. I don't have anything bad to say about you, never did. And hopefully you'll get to watch the next episode of my podcast, because I talk about God, I talk about my country, and I'm on there. I'm not a hateful person, so hopefully you get to watch the podcast and see what you think. I think you'll enjoy it. And Karate Combat, as soon as you take the photo down and apologize, I forgive you, and I still love you.
So an honest and genuine and sentimental message from Bryce Mitchell to young Eli over in Karate Combat. It wasn't reciprocal, of course, because we see him over here responding to the old fake president lad, and he's like, bro thinks he's got a tougher face. Laughing, crying emoji. And it's like young Eli is caught up on the interweb and all the little bro thinks type of talk. And it's like, dude, go and put in the work, man. Go put in the work and have a little look in the mirror then as well, in terms of why this fight was so sentimental to you. Maybe it was like young Nathan Levy, who over here on the UFC roster watch was removed. And yeah, people were loving that as well. People were loving that. So let's not buy into that fake victim conscious bullshit and listen to people like Ariel push a narrative about we must see him humbled because of what he said and who he supports and all that sort of garbage. So let's keep a keen eye on the UFC, especially their matchmaking tactics as of late, because it's been brutal. Let's not fall into the trap of talking about this Silva versus Bryce Mitchell fight as if it's a legitimate fight that just came about organically. That's not what happened. You have a guy who's extremely cocky, arrogant, and has a serious amount of power and has a bunch of these like first round knockout walk-off jobs, and he's calling Bryce a hillbilly. He's going to wash out his mouth. He's going to teach him exactly what needs to be taught in terms of never talking about them people ever again. So the UFC put that fight together premeditatedly with sinister intentions, 100%. And I would love to see Bryce Mitchell defy the odds on this one and absolutely maul this guy and put him out and silence everyone. And I can guarantee you, if that comes to fruition and Bryce Mitchell gets his hand raised at the end of that fight, there'll be no hate spouted from Bryce Mitchell. Forgiveness and love, that's what he promotes, that's what he's always done, and I'm going to be backing him 100%. Let me know if any of it made sense down below. Maybe hit like, subscribe and share if any of it did, or maybe jump over to the Patreon and support me over there. Every little helps, keeps the show on the road, keeps us motivated to keep coming out, making a few videos and telling the truth. Cheers.